All right, welcome back to Fleckus Talks the Podcast, episode 005. This week, we're going to be talking about the newest 4-star Admiral and why, simultaneously, China is laughing at us. Zookeeping is racist until now. We got some economy issues while Pete Buttigieg chest feeds, whatever that means.
Does Pete Buttigieg actually chest feed?
I don't know. Someone is.
Someone's got to milk that baby.
We're going to talk about some medical tyranny and what our quote friends over at Fox News are up to, and more. Thank you guys for watching Fleckus Talks the Podcast, episode 005.
I think personally for me, I just, don't agree with some of the stances that he's taken.
What are some of the things that he's done that you don't agree with?
No, nothing specifically. I think that he just, says a lot of stuff.
This is Fleckus Talks the Podcast, audio only. All right, some updates. I know a lot of people have been following Fleckus' progress with the Draco. We finally got the Draco back. If you're not familiar, I got a new mini Draco, absolute warlord gun, iconic, good-looking gun, and I sent it to HTX Tactical in Houston, and Javi over there did a great job. Well, let's just say the vision of Country Club Draco was absolutely achieved. It's all white, cherry wood, a little bit of gold accents here and there, super clean. Unfortunately, I'm not the Taliban, so I guess I don't get full auto. So everyone's got full auto but me.
Criminals, Taliban.
Yep. I'm not allowed to have it. I have to pull the trigger every time like an idiot, but no need to worry. I'm probably never even going to shoot the thing, to be honest. This is this is more of just like an art piece.
It's a piece. It's like a mantle gun.
Yeah, it's like a paperweight. It's something you play around with in the house.
For sure. And the rebels run around with it after they conquer you, and they go, look, we got the gun.
Then Fleckus is dead when the bad guys roll through town with my gun.
Yep.
What else? Update-wise, I just got back from Biloxi, Mississippi as well. I went there for a bachelor party. Richard Ratboy made the correct decision to stay home.
Skip that one.
I got absolutely smoked.
I knew it was just what do you do? It's actually funny because all of our friends were going, and I just kind of skipped it. And I started seeing your guys' stories saying, what should we do in Biloxi? And I'm like, oh, they got nothing. It's going to be all casino all day.
Casino all day, ATM withdrawal limits, really dark, bad stuff. There was one point where I was getting smoked so bad. I've played blackjack. I'm pretty good. I know all the rules. I know what the book says. I know when to get money on the table. I know when to split. But the key is I know when to get money on the table. Dealer shows a bus card, and I'm splitting, I'm doubling, I'm doing whatever I can. I have never seen a table this cold. There was one point where I was out loud narrating for the whole table, where I was like, all right, I got a 9. They're showing an 8. This should be a pretty standard win no matter what. And then I have 19. And then dealer flips an ace, and it's a push, and I can't even win 9 versus 8. There was another time where same thing. I had 19. Dealer was showing a 5. And
should be standard.
I literally said, okay, this should be nice and easy. 19 versus a 5. Dealer flips a 6 to 11, and then doesn't even go to 21. Then a 9 to 20. So 19 versus a 5, I lose to a 20. The whole weekend was like that. And it was almost comical. I broke at a certain point and just started laughing when they did the 19 to 20. I was just like, ha ha ha.
Just Joker laughing to yourself.
People were like, are you okay, dude? Some lady handed me a pamphlet about having a problem. I'm just kidding. No one handed me a pamphlet. But I did get smoked, and everyone there smoked cigarettes. This was my big takeaway. Biloxi, Mississippi is a great place to rip cigs inside.
Hey, there's only a few of those left.
Yeah, so obviously gambling is not a good thing, a good habit, and I learned my lesson. It's going to be a few weeks before I get back on.
Before I chase my losses.
And then I'm due. You can't keep losing.
Yeah.
You can't, the house doesn't always win. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. The house never wins. It's like the house never wins, or you always get your money back. Something
every squirrel finds a nut.
Yep.
What other updates do we have? I benched 225 25 times yesterday. Richard Ratboy was my witness. Was it true?
Yep. And actually, I saw you tweeted it out, and you were like, I benched 225 25 times. And someone goes, 5 sets of 5, I'm assuming? No. This was a 1 set piece.
5 sets of 5?
That's like a me workout.
Wow, who would ever even talk like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
oh, I did 25 times in 5 sets of 5. I just failed to mention 5 sets of 5. I said what I said.
Yeah, like you're going to bury the lead. Be like, I benched 25. I benched it 50 times, and it's like over 3 days.
Yeah. Twice an hour for the whole day.
Yeah.
So whoever that was, you're not allowed to tweet against me anymore.
That's not how we work out. We don't do things like that.
Yeah, we don't lie. What other updates? I don't know what this is. I just have written candy corn is good. I guess we're coming into candy corn season where everyone talks trash on candy corn. Candy corn's good.
I love candy corn, and I love circus peanuts. That's not really related, but
we're not. I'm not a circus peanut person, so we'll just keep it to candy corn. Candy corn is good. The only problem is once a year you eat it so much that you get like sick and gross from it, and then you kind of hate it. But it's not a bad candy. It's just if you abuse it, it gets bad.
And even then, I never abuse it.
Yeah,
I never OD on candy corn. It's just
I OD on candy corn probably every other year.
Okay, fair.
And it's like it's over a year until I can eat it again.
Well, speaking of ODing on stuff, I have, and we were talking about this a little bit. I've lost my gyro taste. I don't care about gyros anymore. We ran it into the ground.
Absolutely true.
How are you feeling about?
Well, this is absolutely true, guys. The way we were talking about gyro meat should have been a red flag for everyone listening. Which we actually, hey, I'm looking for bulk order gyro meat. I'm triggering public stop losses on gyro meat.
Dude, people were sending us links like, here, get it from here. Enablers.
Some of you guys were trying to help. Here's where you get some gyro meat. Oh, here's 10-pound block. You could have been like an accomplice to a murder.
Yeah, you guys are trying to kill me.
So that was 100% a red flag. Like Richard Ratboy said, we did basically run gyro meat into the ground.
Yeah, I'm done.
I ate one today. I don't even like it anymore. How many gyros can you eat? It wasn't sustainable. If we got the 10-pound block, we probably would have got a pound or two in and then been like, this is Jerry food now.
Yeah.
So wish someone had tried to stop us. I wish I had, I guess, more caring loved ones. But that should have been a red flag, which could kind of take us to the red flag category. We have a whole category of red flags. There's like a meme going around where it's like a sentence and it's followed by red flags. For example, I'm looking for bulk order gyro meat, and then it would be like red flag, red flag, red flag. So there's like a meme, and that would be one of them. Richard Rappel, you have any good ones?
Yeah, I had two that kind of resonated with me that I thought were some of the best. The first one is when he hasn't left his bed for 20 years and then can conveniently jump up and dance around after finding out his grandson has won a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and can bring a +1.
Definitely a red flag.
Obviously, Grandpa Joe is a welfare abuser and faker.
And living in that bed with those 3 other people.
I don't get that. Was that like a common thing? Squalor? Head to toe squalor?
2 couples?
Yeah.
In one full-size bed? Bad. All right, my red flag, if she hugs the bouncer.
That was mine.
That's a good one, and it's true. If you're going out to the club, which, by the way, we don't even need... Guys, no one should be going to the club anymore. Club's done. No, there's nothing for you out there.
Unless you're 21 and like...
Yeah, 21 and like going to the club for just like the first time to see what it is, to find out it's not good. So there's nothing for you out there, trust me. But if you go to the club and you're with a girl and she hugs the bouncer like she knows him, it's probably a red flag.
He better be a long-lost friend from high school who she's just seeing for the first time in 5 years, because if she goes to that club enough to hug the bouncer...
Exactly. It better be her older brother who's going to give you a hard time and say, you better treat my sister right. Other than that...
Usually not the case.
All right, next one.
Those are my 2. That's what I had. You stole from me.
Another red flag, if the person you go to the grocery store with every week is still slow on the self-checkout. If you have like a friend you go to the grocery store with and you use the self-checkout every week and then you beat them every time and they're looking at the screen like it's the first time they see it, that is a red flag.
What are you talking about? I smoked you yesterday. I was bagging stuff like on the smallest item I had as the base. It was just get it in the bag.
So Richard Ratboy and I go to Publix every week and we self-checkout, and we both have gotten very good. Like I know where all the barcodes are, and it's like you can't put the next one on until the other one's in the bag. It has a weight thing you have to keep account for. And we've gotten pretty good. And now we race. So now we have like an ongoing thing, which is why red flag was pretending he was slow.
Yeah. Only thing that will really slow you down is like an onion. You got to key in an onion and put it on the scale.
I don't buy stuff like that. I buy stuff with barcodes on it. That way I know when I get to the self-checkout, I have it at least. I'm putting myself in a position to succeed.
Yeah. It's all fast track stuff.
It's all about the self-checkout race is really what I'm doing. That's why I don't buy vegetables. You got to plug them in manually. Another red flag. I'm a centrist. I like things on both sides.
Yeah.
I like hearing opinions on both sides. I'm a centrist. Those days are unfortunately over.
Pick a side.
Pick a side, clown. If you're in the centrist and you like both, you really can't because you're siding on one side with the people on the left who are so crazy that no serious person can side with anything on the left anymore. There's no rationale there. So if you're siding on the left and you're still trying to play both sides, unfortunately those days are over. You have to pick. And if you pick the other one or pick not to pick, you're a Muppet. You're out.
I feel like the only thing you can be rationally is like, oh, I'm a Democrat, I identify with Democrats, is like healthcare or something. Like you need to have a issue that touches you.
And everyone like talks about healthcare. Who cares? I feel like all these healthcare debates, it's like, what is the debate going to solve healthcare? Like healthcare is obviously a big problem and it's going to take a long time to fix it. And no one's really fixing it or trying to fix it. So let's focus on the other faster happening short-term things like the border, like inflation, like the COVID stuff, the vax stuff.
Fundamentally changing the demographics of this country, everybody being locked down for 2 years at this point.
The healthcare is such like a long game fix that it's just, well, obviously we're in like a quote unquote pandemic, depending on how you look at it. So I don't, it's like the old healthcare debate's kind of done, in my opinion.
Fair.
Last red flag. Any sort of Colin Powell reverence. Rest in peace to blah, 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 the first black guy to blah, blah, blah.
I feel like it's just an opportunity for the politicians to be like, see, I do the right thing when it's on the other side of the aisle. Like Chuck Schumer will be like, okay, he was a good boy. Like
exactly. But also you learn who was doing what. It's kind of like, political parties go aside, kind of like when George Bush and Obama now are teaming up. And you're kind of like, why are you two guys together? But a lot of people have been kind of doing their takes on Colin Powell's death and how to go about it. Here's what I think is the correct take. Colin Powell was a smart man who in and out saw the DC swamp for what it was. And instead of becoming a champion of opposition, someone who was against the swamp and what it was becoming, he actually embedded himself into it. So Colin Powell, now that he's dead, his soul is facing a bigger judgment than anything I can do or anything that we can do. And I wish his soul the best.
Yeah, fair.
I think that's pretty fair.
So he was a big piece of the military industrial complex.
Exactly.
Obviously.
He knew it and he knew it. He didn't, it wasn't, oh, what are we doing? It was,
what did I stumble into?
What did I stumble into? It was like, here's kind of what we're doing. Here's our little scheme. What do you think? And he wasn't like, where's the whistle? I need to blow it.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, here's my wiring info. Here's how much money I'm, whatever. Yeah. He sold out. He let it continue. So good luck. Enjoy your judgment. Enjoy meeting Jesus.
Like your friends and family are the ones who should be mourning you. We don't need a big public giant thing for the mistake politicians of yesteryears.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way to put it. Speaking of, you say mistake politicians?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know. Is Rachel Levine a politician?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a public servant, whatever, I mean, obviously.
It counts. I'm going to do an impression, and you tell me who it is. Ready?
Okay. That's China.
That's China laughing at us as they send hypersonic practice nukes around the world in like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
We just promoted the first 4-star transgender person, Rachel Levine, into office. I don't know what, a 4-star admiral now.
I think it's kind of like a fake admiral, but he gets the outfit.
Yeah, they get the outfit, and because they're so high ranking in this sector, it's like you're an automatic admiral is kind of what it seems like.
Apparently.
And they're saying it's the first. This is kind of interesting. It used to be like she's the first woman. That's what they're saying. She's the first woman admiral at this high, blah, blah, blah. But they're using the term female, which is actually biologically incorrect. But they're just making the leap and just you give an inch, they take a mile. And yeah, so she's the first transgender person to be this high up. China is sending around practice nukes, and they're doing things that we are getting caught off guard by.
Encroaching on Taiwan.
Doing
whatever they want. South China Sea islands.
We're giving awards out to people who are severely confused.
Yeah. Not good.
And I feel like when I look back on the show, all I think we're talking about is like gyro meat and transgender people.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, is that bad? Like, am I giving it too much attention?
Stuffing it in our face.
But they keep stuffing it in our face. And we are going to explain in this section of the show, this category, we are going to be explaining kind of why we're talking about trans people so much. And we'll get to that at the end. We're going to tie it all up at the end in a really nice bow that's easy to understand. Did you see that Netflix kind of balked? The CEO apologized.
Yeah, the co-CEO, Ted Sarandos, apologized.
He apologized for siding with Dave Chappelle when there was some flack from the trans community.
I should have led with more humanity. I had a group of employees who are definitely feeling pain and hurt from a decision we made. And I think that needs to be acknowledged up front before you get into the nuts and bolts of anything. I didn't do that.
Nuts and bolts.
Oh, wow.
Pack your shit and get out. That's what I say. Pack your shit and get out. Oh, we want to talk to you. You're blah, blah, blah. It's like, guys, you're done.
Maybe the visionary who started Netflix as Blockbuster was kind of dying and like was worth nothing and built it for the last 20 years. Maybe he like has some expertise or like knows what he's doing. I don't know. That's weird. Or maybe he deserves some credibility or some leeway.
Yeah.
Given that he's writing your paychecks and made people, the market cap of Netflix is like probably over 500 billion at this point. Like all the people he made rich, but no, canceled.
And then this is also a bigger picture thing that's happening. It's like a bigger trend where basically they've created a victim class, a protected class that is the trans people. And people are like, oh, I don't want to be rude. I'll call them whatever. I'll call them she. I'll call them he. I'll use the pronouns. I'll use the new name, whatever. And they think they're being polite. But what we're really doing here is actually manufacturing consensus and rewriting history. So, for example, Dave Chappelle does his special. Everyone thinks it's funny. There's these trans people who come out and are upset. Now Netflix is balking and siding with the trans people. And we're creating a class that isn't allowed to be made fun of, which is dangerous because if you have a group of people you can't criticize, the bad guys are going to use them to get past the opposition.
Human shields.
So then you have situations where you have like Rachel Levine now rising to the top, and any opposition is because people are hateful, and then that gets squashed down. So if there's like a transgender person in the military getting promoted, there's naturally people supporting it who are kind of probably left-leaning and very liberal or whatever, and there's people who are opposing it, maybe a little more conservative. They create this idea that trans people are a victim class and you can't make fun of them, and they back that up with the Netflix situation. So now the CEO backs up the trans people, now you can't make fun of them. So on one side, they're promoting a trans person and leading with it, and then on the backside, they're squashing down any opposition to it. So by the time you write history and you write what's going on and whatever, it's like, oh yeah, there was a pretty full consensus. Everyone was happy to see the first transgender person. And it's like a lie because the only reason it's a consensus is you squash down any opposition, and then anyone else who's against it's kind of just staying quiet. And that's the way they do basically everything.
Yep.
So they lead with that.
Stay quiet on COVID. Stay quiet on transgender. Stay quiet on what we're teaching your kids. Stay quiet on everything.
Same thing with the vaccine. It's like everyone's for it. Oh, it's so easy to get. It's so available. Everyone's doing it. It's like, yeah, is everyone doing it?
We'll ruin your life, Karen, if you don't.
And they'll literally ruin your life if you don't do it.
And so imagine being Rachel Levine too, and you've been appointed, you've been promoted, you've become the star, you're an admiral now. And it's like, are you going to do exactly what they tell you to do? Yes. You just got fast-tracked so hard. You had jet fuel added to your career, quote unquote. And it's like, what are you going to do? Go against the people who gave you? It's like, do whatever we tell you.
Exactly.
Here, I want to read something really quick. This was like a trans person writing their criticism towards Netflix defense of the show. It said, when a company like Netflix says something like, we do not believe this content is harmful to the transgender community, you can be virtually certain that not a single trans person was involved in that decision, wrote Tara Field. How are we supposed to speak up for ourselves if we aren't in the room? And it's like, okay, so you want a voice, but you have to be in the room and you have to be the one making the decision. So it's like a trans person just has to make this decision. It's like, again, the protected class circular logic.
Get in the room.
Yeah.
Get in the room.
Create Netflix.
Go be the best Netflix worker of all time. Get in the room. And then when you're in charge, you'll have all these great ideas to share.
It'll be awesome. That'll be sick.
But that would take a lot of pretending that that's what people want.
It would take a lot of faking. So
it would take a lot of faking. And I'm not saying it's out of the question because we're kind of heading in that direction. But hey, message to the trans people. Don't get used. You're better than this. Don't let these evil cabal people tell you, oh yeah, you're right up to the front. You're the best. You're the best. And then you kind of just repeat what they say. Don't become a pawn.
Yeah. Because you're on your way.
Yeah. And speaking of being a pawn, Demi Lovato, I have a quick Demi Lovato update. I have a friend who listens to the show, and they were telling me that they knew someone who dated Demi Lovato in high school or when they were in high school. And she DM'd me saying that Demi Lovato, quote, might be the dumbest person she's ever met in her entire life. Isn't that interesting?
Demi Lovato would have had to done something exceedingly stupid to get that title.
And exactly. So it's like, and that's the person who's pushed to the top and promoted and also saying all this weird feminist trans alien stuff and has the haircut. That's the haircut she has now. It's like, this person's clearly got issues, but they knew that she would be a pawn star. Absolute pawn star. That was pretty good.
Stop it.
Absolute pawn star. Right up to the front. Just repeat what the talking points are.
Rachel Levine is a pawn star too. Then these human pawns who are just kind of like yes men, do whatever you want.
Absolute pawn star. But like, what motivates Rachel Levine? Does she want?
I don't know.
Is she smart?
Like any white man, power and status.
Sick. These people are fucking sick. These white men.
These white men stay winning. Easiest 4-star admiral we've ever gotten.
Wow. What if it is a power thing? Then it gets scary because it'll be a power thing because someone wronged me in my past, and now you're going to call me my right name. Right?
Yeah,
It's going to get dark, and we're going to get into some sort. Maybe it'll be a Netflix special about it. Cool.
Maybe there'll be a Netflix special one day. Who am I? China laughs.
All right, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by ShopFleckus.com. This week we are in the LSU t-shirt business. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, let me tell you. We have a new shirt called Let's Go Brandon. Go is spelled G-E-A-U-X. We have some ads running that were approved somehow. It's like the first time I've ever been approved on an ad. And I'm basically trying to target anyone who went to LSU, who participates in right-wing politics in any way, and likes the LSU Tigers. So Let's Go Brandon, G-E-A-U-X, is perfect for that, and it's also 1 degree removed from Facebook's algorithm, so they don't know I'm doing Let's Go Brandon stuff, because they are cracking down on that. So if you guys are LSU fans, Louisiana livers, people who want to say Let's Go Brandon in a somewhat secretive way while supporting the show, ShopFleckus.com is the place to do that. And then also, as all this stuff is going on, as we're talking about like transgender people and gyro meat and all this stuff, and where they intersect,
the usuals.
We have a dark winter inbound. It seems like
that's what Fleckus keeps predicting.
I keep predicting. I actually predicted it I think a year ago, but I think this is the dark winter coming up. I think we're gonna have a ton of cases. We're seeing it in Israel too, with all the cases they're having with people that are all vaccinated. I think there's gonna be a lot of cases this winter. And I think there's going to be a food shortage, a meat shortage. That gets fact-checked, I guess, if you say that there's a supply issue right now. We have all those boats that are still docked off the coasts outside the ports that can't get in. Pete Buttigieg has been gone for 2 months with his newborn baby. Him and his boyfriend, or him and his husband,
his husband. The baby they acquired.
Yeah. Pete Buttigieg and his buddy acquired a baby.
And they've just been rolling around with him.
And they've been rolling around with him, playing with the baby. And for 2 months, Pete Buttigieg has been doing that while all these boats are off the coast, unable to dock and unload into the ports. Pete Buttigieg is up to that.
Pete Buttigieg is doing tummy time while people are sweating their asses off, anchored off the coast of Los Angeles, just waiting. Hope none of those goods are perishable.
Yeah, great, exactly. And also, it's like we're allowed to make fun of these people. People sometimes wonder, can we make fun of trans people and Pete Buttigieg for being gay and having a husband? Yes, no one is above it.
Yeah, I don't.
You have to be allowed to make fun of everyone, and
you can have a husband, dude. Go ahead, but
yeah,
don't mess up my supply chain.
Don't mess up our supply chain is actually the real issue here. Economy wise, I don't know. You decide for yourself. If you say that there's a supply chain issue, the fact checkers will come. They have already done this. And they'll say, oh, these are old photos. These empty shelves are actually empty for a different reason. All these weird excuses. Find out for yourself. Do you guys have supply issues? Are the prices of meat and milk and eggs going up?
Go to Costco. See what's missing.
Yeah. I look around where I go, and things are definitely missing, and things are definitely more expensive. For someone who likes to give Jerry pieces of steak every day, that ain't cheap now.
What do you give him, cube steak?
I give him like steak for like a stir fry or stew steak. It's just like chunks.
Yeah.
It's not that much, but it's going up for sure. And also, I went to order some bagels this morning. St. Pete Bagel Company on Uber Eats, and there's no bagels at St. Pete Bagel Company. Now, I don't think we necessarily are maybe getting our bagels from China or on a boat. I don't know. Maybe it was just an off day, but we do need to find out.
Yeah, we got to.
So let's give them a call and see what they say.
St. Pete Bagel, how can I help you?
Hello. I tried to place an order yesterday on Uber Eats and said you guys had no bagels. I was just wondering if that was related to the supply chain issue.
No, actually, I don't know what happened yesterday, but 10:30 we ran out from the bagel because everybody came in the morning, 4 dozen, 5 dozen, 4 dozen, 5 dozen, so it's never happened before. I don't remember the time when we sold out the bagel 10:30.
Wow. Oh, so it wasn't Joe Biden.
No, it wasn't Joe Biden.
So yeah, there's the explanation. Maybe not everything. Then the Washington Post comes out with an article that's like, instead of complaining about the supply chain, why don't you lower your expectations?
Yeah, dude. People are just ripping needles, shitting in the streets, right by your kids. Lower your expectations, Karen.
Isn't that exactly? We're the Karens for complaining. Meanwhile, like these fact checks and this like media support, where we could have used you with Trump. We could have used you when you said that Trump said that you should inject yourself with bleach, or the Nazis are great guys, or whatever.
Oh no, those aren't facts to check. Those are
could have really used your fact checks on those, but I guess you just picked up the pen and now you're starting to really pay attention.
Thank you so much, fact checkers. You keep us safe. Speaking of that, did you see the Pope said he wanted big tech to silence conspiracy theories and misinformation?
Mm-hmm.
The satanic Pope.
The satanic Pope that was installed by Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Yeah, that sucks. And Facebook who is now like becoming a new company called Verge. Interesting time to change your name, buddy.
Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
Verge?
Verge is the name. I guess Soulsuck was taken.
What's up with that?
And LifeLog was also already used, probably.
Nothing.
No one's going to get that. LifeLog.
LifeLog?
Well, LifeLog was the company that was created by, I believe, DARPA back like on the same day Facebook was created.
The parallel platform.
Or LifeLog closed the day Facebook was created. So it's like there's a chance Facebook is just like a data collecting Fed operation the whole time.
Oh, did you see Snowden, the movie?
No, too boring.
The way they talked, it was kind of boring, but the way they talk, they're just like, yeah, Facebook's my bitch. So they can go right in.
Yep. Did you see the lady got turned away from a hospital for a kidney transplant because she's not vaccinated?
I've seen that multiple times.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it seems like that virus with the super high survival rate shouldn't be outweighing your kidney failure with almost certain death after a certain point, right?
Yeah.
So
you can't get a kidney transplant for your own safety because you're not vaccinated from the virus that can't kill you. You probably already had already. Isn't it like, it's so obvious to me when I say that, but I feel like you really need to like snap out of it. Like, what are you scared of? You had 2 shots, you have a booster and 2 masks on. Are you that scared? Maybe you shouldn't leave the house.
yeah, if you're that scared, it all
If you're
goes
that
back
scared,
to
stay home.
Quarantine yourself, buddy. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
I'm all good.
I'm Gucci. Yeah, don't.
I'm not scared. DL Hewley posted this thing that was like, oh, so we're supposed to see, it as a bad thing when teachers who don't believe in vaccines and police officers and people working at big corporations who don't believe in the vaccine are being forced out. Like, why is this a bad thing? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Why is society yours? You guys are the ones scared of everything. Why don't you just stay home, take the free money, and that's it? You probably like that.
My favorite is I saw like a Michael Rappaport video, who's the most insufferable, punchable person on planet Earth, for those that know him. And it was basically like, get the vaccine. Like, these lockdowns are because of you. It's like, no, these lockdowns came out of fucking nowhere. And it's politicians. They're made up. It's all made up.
100%.
So what are you talking
There's
about?
a blame. It's on you. And then like Colin Powell dies of because he has COVID complications, even though he's vaccinated. That's because an unvaccinated person was near him.
Of course.
It's always on us. It's always blamed on us.
And it's
that's
always
like the goal.
changing.
And it's always changing. But no matter what, it's our fault.
Very disrespectful.
You see Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, by the way.
Yeah, is he cut now? Is he out?
I believe it's about to get decided, I think. But he's not getting the shot. Kyrie Irving is a basketball player for the Brooklyn Nets. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I don't really watch basketball at all. But he's a guy who's been involved in protests, and he bought George Floyd's mom a house. He pays for kids to go to college. He spent $250,000 last Thanksgiving on like turkeys and stuff.
Philanthropic young man
involved in the issues. But now that he's saying, I don't want to get the shot for the vaccine that I don't need, everyone's coming for him. Now it's shut up and dribble. Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, now it's shut up and dribble.
Now it's shut up and dribble. Stephen A. Smith came after him, and Stephen A. Smith in this situation is Samuel L. Jackson from Django.
Yeah, they have the people say, get back in line, and it's Jamel Hill and Stephen A. Smith.
So what happened to like promoting black voices? It's like, why does it not work with this issue? Is it because it's not about promoting black voices? It's only about promoting black voices that promote what you want to be promoted? Yes. 100%.
Pretty much. Stephen A. Smith is like yelling, he got to go.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised. But what I am surprised about is the actions taken by Fox News. Fox News, I found an article, and Tucker kind of talked about this too. Fox News isn't requiring the vaccine for their workers. And you read that and think, oh, that's nice. That's based.
That sounds about right.
But if you don't get it, if you don't get the vaccine, you have to do daily up-the-nose testing.
I've never done one of those.
I've never done one of those in my life.
And people are getting them every day.
I won't. And I mentioned this on my story on Instagram, and someone DM'd me, and they're like, I'm a Division I athlete. Like, I've gotten 50 of those up-the-nose tests. Ugh. And I was like, oh, my gosh, that's so many. I couldn't imagine. If you work at Fox News, that's like that's 2.5 months of tests.
Yeah.
So if you work there for a year, you're going to be doing like hundreds and hundreds of these tests.
I wonder if that like damages your nasal cavity, like if it digs around a little bit.
I saw a meme that was like the Egyptians used to shove things up people's noses and rupture that area that protects your brain from the outside. And if you hit that enough, it makes you like submissive and like able to be taken over.
Semi-lobotomized.
Interesting. Can you imagine? It's just like a violation.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That stick up the nose and everyone goes, oh, like after. I'm never having that done, but I'm also never getting the shot. So it's a very tough position to be in. I can't imagine getting that up my nose every day. How would you even look at the person? It's like the person who's doing it, are they just so like dehumanized? Can you imagine even like looking the person in the face who does that to you every day? It's like, where's the humanity? How can you do this to me? Is kind of how I would feel about it. They basically just want to ruin your life until you get the vaccine. It's like, oh, you don't have to get the vaccine. No, of course not. But we'll just shove this thing up your nose every day. You have to go to this certain part of the office every morning and get this thing shoved up your nose every single day so you can work here. Fuck off. Fuck you, Fox. Except Tucker. We love Tucker. So that's tough. Obviously, hold the line and do what you got to do. Keep it 100. Let's get on a more lighthearted note. What are we YOLOing into this week, stocks and crypto-wise?
Stocks and crypto-wise. the Bitcoin miner.
ANY, that's correct.
It's my personal favorite.
That's my favorite as well. It is in, what is it? It's a green Bitcoin miner. They are hydroelectric powered, and a lot of Bitcoin mining takes a lot of energy and computer power. So they're green. They're kind of on the front end of that. And the reason for the YOLO is we're hoping for some sort of Elon Musk adoption, goes on the board. That's what I'm YOLOing for.
Yeah, that's the pipe dream. It's also funny. It's like, oh, dude, it's not clean energy that you're mining Bitcoin with. And it's like, have you ever heard of the petrodollar? Like, the entire world economy is based off oil and like how much that costs. So it's like, all right, cool, guys. I appreciate the criticism, but.
And this obviously isn't financial advice. I got a 72 on the Series 7. So
perfect score.
It's a perfect. Well, yeah, technically it's a perfect score.
And I mean, obviously this is all with Bitcoin at all-time highs today.
Yeah.
We're filming this Wednesday.
Well. So keep that in mind. But I did get it. It was actually called the perfect score. If you guys don't know, Fleckus used to work on Wall Street, believe it or not. When I graduated college, I did 2-year analyst program at Citigroup. And there's a test you have to take called the Series 7, which is like a licensing test to trade stocks and bonds or whatever. I don't even know. And the joke on the desk always is, oh, don't study too hard. Passing is a 72. So anything more than a 72 and you're wasting your time. And everyone's like, ha ha. And you study all year and you can't fail it. If you fail it, you basically get fired. So
did anybody get fired in your class or around you?
No. I think you could probably fail and take it again.
You get one.
Because now you can fail and be like, oh, like I have a lot going on, or you can be like, I'm a girl and
my service dog didn't use my pronouns. And,
So now it's fine. But old school days, like old Wall Street, you fail the Series 7, like you're fired, you're done. Pack up your shit and go.
Yeah, get out.
And when they fire you, they bring you into an office and they fire you, and they don't even let you go back to your desk. It's just protocol. So you're in the office and there's like a guy with like a jacket, like a suit jacket, and he's security, and they fire you and they walk you out, and then your desk gets packed into a box and then same day delivered to your house.
Did you see that happen?
Yeah.
How many times did you see that happen?
4 times.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Imagine like seeing the guy with the jacket. It's like a tan specific jacket. Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, you go back to your desk to like knock everyone out. And then they're like, nope, we got rules for that. But yeah, so perfect score on the Series 7 was a 72. It's 180 correct out of 250. I took the test. I finished the test. You get the score right away. It does like a spinny wheel. You hit submit. It does a spinny wheel, and then it tells you your score. And everyone's like, oh, I was so nervous. And I'm like, what'd you get? They're like, oh, an 88, a 94.
Easily passed.
I did the spinny wheel. I submit. By the way, I changed my answers based on how it looked on multiple choice.
Can't have 4 Ds in a row.
Exactly. I literally looked back and I was like, oh, yeah, 4 Ds in a row. That doesn't make sense. D, B, D, D.
Yeah.
So I didn't even
switch it up.
I didn't even
Scantron
read the
don't
question.
look right.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't even reading the questions. I was making changes to the last second, hit submit, stood up at my desk, spinny wheel. Then it says pass, 72%, 180 out of 250. The lady printed it off and goes, woo. Came back to the desk. Everyone was like, what'd you get? And I was like 72. And they're like, ooh, same thing. But it was cool. And I became a legend. And then all the clients wanted to go get drinks with the guy who got a perfect score in the Series 7. So I became like a legend. And I have so many funny other stories from those Wall Street days. I have like hundreds of stories. And I'll tell you guys some more.
Yeah.
In other episodes.
Yeah.
But it was great. We used to gamble so much. It was so much fun. There's always action, always betting, always action. Blackjack. One time we bet with just taking 5 quarters, and we would just be like, all right, $20 each, heads or tails. And you shake them up and you throw them on the table. And it's either you lose $100, you win $100, you lose 80, you win 80. You know, it's like 3 heads, 2 tails. Just you won $20.
Each is worth $20.
Yeah. So we used to do that. I went into crazy debt. It was actually hilarious. Fun times.
Went into debt.
Yeah, I went into debt. Well, I was like a young guy on the desk, and I was playing the quarter game too much.
And your rent was like $1,800, which was high back then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, obviously these are just financial decisions I'm making. I'm buying any of the stock. I also hold SafeMoon. And here's what I was thinking about when I was talking to Richard Rapboy this morning. NFTs. Mm-hmm. If you guys don't know what NFTs are, it stands for, I don't know.
Non-fungible token.
Non-fungible token. But basically it's like people are buying and selling JPEGs. Just pictures. And it's kind of like online art, but it's like JPEGs. And there's some that are just like cartoonized monkeys.
Yeah, certain ones get popular.
And they go for like millions of dollars.
Yeah. I saw somebody turn down $9.5 million for a Bored Ape.
For a Bored Ape, meaning like a picture of a monkey who is bored, not entertained, went for like $10 million. So here's what I think is a good idea for the whole industry. Obviously, when there's money being made in crypto, in come the institutions, in come the banks, the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachses, everyone. Everyone's going to pile into crypto because I think that's where the money's at. We should make these institutions and these big banks the ultimate bag holders.
Yeah.
So we have to have like really positive sentiment around NFTs forever. Everyone loves NFTs. NFTs are so good. NFTs are worth the money. And then have all the big banks come in and start buying them up. And then boom, NFT market crashes. They're the bag holder. We take the money back for the people from the big guy. And then someone in Goldman Sachs is going to get called into their office and say, why do we own $5 billion of JPEGs? And they're going to go, well, I mean, everyone was buying and there's a market and it's really popular. And then we let them be the bag holders and we save the country.
Sorry, Wells Fargo. It's just a JPEG.
And they go, wait, no, it's not JPEG. Like, and then they have like the moment where they find out the call's coming from inside the house. It's like, no, but it's sold for 1,000 Ethereum, and then I can't sell it right now for even like $500. Like, and then boom, NFTs crashed to zero. It was always a JPEG.
Yeah, that bubble makes me nervous though. The NFT bubble.
It has to be a bubble.
Well, because that's like someone gets rich off an NFT and it's like, dude, I sold that NFT for $50,000. And then it's like, I'm going to go buy 10 more of this new NFT I think can go up. And it's like using profits to pump another one. And it's like a circular thing that just kind of is just JPEGs.
Yeah. This is my favorite episode of the podcast ever.
Nice. Good job.
I love the podcast.
Thank you.
I think it's the funniest podcast.
I am glad that I encouraged you to do the podcast then, buddy.
Me too.
And shout out to Chinese Donut Boy, who also...
Chinese Donut Boy as well, sponsor of the show. While we have a little break in the action, I think I'm going to just use this opportunity to call something.
Okay.
Get something on the record.
On the books.
Hot honey. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Hot honey is the next big thing. Remember, kale was a big thing. Internet. Crypto.
Yeah.
Hot honey. It's like a spicy honey, subtle thing that I've had.
A little sweet and spicy?
A little sweet and spicy, but not overwhelming. And it gets added to like the crust of pepperoni pizza, for example.
Okay.
And you eat pepperoni pizza and you have like this like sweet aftertaste that's kind of like got some spice. And it's fantastic. Hot honey. Guys, you will be seeing more of hot honey soon. You heard it here first.
Okay. It's on the books.
All right. So what do we have article-wise? What was the funny thing this week that you saw in the news, Richard Rapboy?
The Clown World article of the week is from the Washington Post, and it's called Zookeeping Isn't Common in the Black Community. This black zookeeper wants to change that. And there's an image of a black zookeeper. And
for the record, I have never even met a zookeeper.
Yeah.
I don't think.
So they're going to a very, very niche.
Yeah. All right, what do they say about it?
Well, they say here, Craig Sappho was at the Fresno Chaffee Zoo's big cats exhibit when he saw the man. Outbounds this black guy in a zoo uniform, Sappho said. He had this walk, like the coolest walk you've ever seen. And I think, that's cool. They let their volunteers come in. Then he realized the man wasn't a volunteer. He had his training buoy, his target stick, his meat pouch, Sappho said. And then he realized, oh my God, he's the keeper. The man didn't.
Why was he so surprised the zookeeper was black?
This guy's like admitting to his own like racism or like preconceived notion, and then he's like, "So everyone must think that."
Yeah, like what was that? Like, he must be they let the volunteers in the cage. It's like he has all the tools and he's wearing the costume. Like he's probably the zookeeper. I wouldn't assume that he's some volunteer who's not qualified.
If I see a mailman in a full mailman outfit,
I'm not going to go, oh, who let this guy?
Oh, they let the kid in the, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, keep going.
So,
by the way, guys, we looked this up. There's 355 zoos in the country.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
It's
Chicago has 2 zoos. The tier 1 cities, New York, Chicago, LA, they probably have a couple zoos. And then it's like, you might have one in St. Louis. You might have one in,
Yeah.
and you do probably in St. Louis. But you know what I mean? It's like, you get one per city, basically. This isn't like some competing thing. Like, this isn't McDonald's on every corner. It's like zoos are few and far between, guys.
Why isn't there black representation in the zoos? And it's like, isn't zookeeping bad? Like, if they're trying to be like Washington, is it Washington Post doing this?
Yeah.
So if it's like you're trying to do your leftist spin, Washington Post, let me help you. Instead of saying, why aren't there any black zookeepers? It's all white dominated. Why don't you just say, how come all these white people are locking up all these animals? Like, why are you bringing black people in on it? I thought it was like the zookeeping was like a dated thing, like SeaWorld and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we shouldn't be keeping them in cages.
The question should be, why are there 3 tigers in a half-acre enclosure?
Yeah.
When they normally roam 500 miles. It's like, what are we doing
city.
here? But apparently racism takes a front seat to animal rights.
We need representation.
So the man didn't fit the profile of who most zookeepers in America are, white and female. So it's women too. Yeah. So it's like, the guy goes on, I was mortified that I said that, blah, blah, blah. And basically it's like, the article goes on to say his black friends would dismiss his work as white people stuff. And indeed, the field is about 74% white. It's like, shouldn't it be 99% if it was like something crazy and unacceptable?
74?
It's not that crazy.
That's not that bad.
We're still 65% of the population.
Okay, so they're just forcing it, and they can't help themselves. They see an opportunity, and they seize it.
Yeah, it's just a weird attention article. I am a black zookeeper. There's 2 words there, black and zookeeper. Both probably words you never heard combined together. What are you guys talking about?
I've never had anyone say I'm any kind of zookeeper. I've never even met a zookeeper.
Get out of here with this. And so, yeah, what else does it say? This is my favorite line in the article here. A veterinarian took him under his wing to come watch a surgery, which led to him enrolling in veterinary school. But it soon became clear that animal behavior, not animal medicine, was his true love. And then, hold on, sorry, I have a really good sentence here. Here's my favorite sentence. I have never experienced myself direct, overt racism, Sappho told me as he walked along the exhibits last month. I had a lot of white people helping me, pushing me along. Like, what the fuck?
These people.
So who's the article for?
It's just so you see it casually when you're scrolling, because you obviously don't read all the way through like we did. And you say, oh, man, us white people are keeping blacks out of the zookeeping industry, just like everything else. And it just reaffirms like this wonked worldview that there's a group in charge and a group that's below.
You know what?
This is just for the casual scroller, just be like another boop in the direction of, oh, yeah, there's a race issue in this country. And a bunch of the boops add up, I guess.
Dude, and it's just human nature. It's like, yo, I'm in this super specific field, geothermal vents. And it's like, yo, this guy wants to learn about geothermal vents. That's crazy. That's never happened before. It's like, I'll teach you everything I know. It's like, nobody cares about your race.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that.
So whatever. He basically started like a people of color zookeeper club, and like the articles.
Go do it.
Enjoy. Have fun.
Have fun.
The guy. So basically, it's just a big fluff piece on that.
Have fun, like you said, and no one excluded you or kept you out of the zookeeping industry. Congrats. It just gets tiring. And a lot of people have noticed that my attitude, they've been like, Fleckus, like, you're meaner now. Like, your attitude has changed. It's not like lighthearted and fun anymore. And that's it kind of had to. It kind of did on purpose. It kind of like the course has been run. Phase 1 was like, for me at least, 2016 to 2020, where it's like, get as red-pilled as possible, get as many people red-pilled as possible by exposing them to the craziness of the left. So we made all those street videos. If you're on the right, you're laughing and enjoying and learning and realizing what you're up against. If you're on the left, you're embarrassed, taking L's constantly.
Humiliated.
And if you're in the middle, you're like, I don't know where I fall politically. I haven't been paying attention. But that handsome, bearded, funny guy is pretty handsome and funny.
Yeah.
And these leftists saying Trump is worse than Hitler are kind of idiots. I'm definitely not on their side. And then you nudge to the right. So like phase one was like getting as many people nudged to the right as possible. And that was fun. It was entertainment. It was comedy. And now phase two is still going to be fun, entertainment, and comedy. But it's going to be a little more directional. Instead of letting them talk and letting us decide about their ideas, we're just going to make fun of people that are actually against us and are fundamentally opposed in a lighthearted way. That's going to just be entertainment. We're making fun of the people that are against us, and we're allowed to do that. SNL does it to us forever.
Yeah.
Every day, and they have millions of dollars behind it, so we're going to do it back to them. If your ideas are stupid and you're artificially propped up by society and the satanic cabal that exists of all Jeffrey Epstein's friends, then we're going to make fun of you a little bit and let everyone else who's kind of not really sure what's going on figure it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
We're definitely not going to just blindly revere you.
Sorry. I know you wish we could.
Yeah.
But
I know that's the goal.
We know that's the goal. You're not going to get me vaccinated, and I'm not going to stop making fun of you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast, episode 005. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Can we get a 5-star review, please, on whatever you're listening on? Go to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, leave us a nice little note. We really appreciate it. It goes a long way. We're the best podcasts in America, so we deserve more 5-star reviews.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for listening. We will see you at the next one.